Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be landscapers.
100%.
There you go.
This is the thing this show does. It gets in your skin to a degree.
Yeah.
And the associations and the friends you make over the years and the partnerships you make over the years aren't quantifiable. And that's the thing that I can't sell that. Nor do I really want to. But it's the intangible item that makes doing the show for many people worth it. There's a reason Marinakos keeps doing the show. Marinakos gets plenty of business. They don't need to do the show.
Exactly.
Bill loves the show because the show is about relationships. When Marketplace bought the show 6 or 7 years ago, when they interviewed me, one of the things Tom said, and he's the CEO of the company, said, "It's really interesting. Your show is a for-profit corporation. That's why they're buying it. But it's run like a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And nonprofits are run on relationships. Profit corporations are all about the dollar. If Marinakos was only about the dollar, they wouldn't do this show. They don't get that business out of it. Not with B&E. They've already got that business. We don't need to keep priming the pump on that. We can always do better. We need more banners, stuff like that. Pacific Topsoils.
Yeah.
Stepped in when Swallow Supply went out of business, and then Pacific Topsoil stepped in and said, because they'd asked for the business for a couple of years, and said, how can we do that? Well, right now we've got a partner. And then when that partner dropped, I told Jeff, well, call Pacific Topsoils, because we were left in the lurch. It was like, what are you
going to do?
Yeah. So they came on board, and they've been terrific to work with. And Hillary, who's our contact, is out here planting. And she's doing stuff, and she's helping the gardeners, which we never got from Sawdust Supply, ever. They helped run the equipment.
Yeah.
That's not the same. That's not the same.
Hillary that's personal investment.
Hillary comes, we're breaking shit down. Hillary comes, that we're not on. Hillary comes down, we're breaking the stuff down. And she's got her bag of cheeseburgers from Dick's. And we're on the parking lot. You look like you could use a break. Yeah, but I'm busy right now. Well, great. Here's your cheeseburger. You know what? You need two. Here's your cheeseburger. What sponsor does that? Again, it's a relationship-based thing. Our relationship with Mutual Materials Company, because of Dale. It's all in relationships. And I'm not patting myself on the back necessarily, but knowing all these people, even the new folks, and being able to say, yeah, you can do this. I mean, I love your attitude when we first talked about it. Go big or go home. Okay, I'm in, which is great. Fine, okay, let's do it.
Well, it was so funny because when we first talked on the phone and you were saying, we can't understate the marketing opportunity for this, blah, blah, blah. And actually inside my head, I was thinking, I don't actually need any more business. Like, that's not even the important thing. And I don't know if I shared this with you, but about 5 years ago, I was just a couple years into my business, and I was making a vision board, and I was like, where am I going? What do I want to achieve? What do I want to see? How do I want to feel? And I actually put on there that I wanted to be a main presenter and speaker at the Northwest Flower and Garden Show.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
And it seemed at that time like such a faraway dream for me. But then actually last year when I came through and I saw Living Room Landscape doing it, and I looked at them and I was like, gosh, they are like plucky and young and out here and doing it. And their garden was small, but it was all meaningful and intentional.
Yep.
And I just thought to myself, what am I waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
I don't know. Well, and so then I actually think it's really funny that I was applying to do this City Living Garden.
And I remember talking with you about it. You told me what you wanted to do. And I was like, You can't do that in the city living.
I could have. It would have been tiny.
You couldn't have even done it when we had the big city living. So it was like, no, it's not going to fit. But I have an opportunity for you. And then you jumped at the opportunity. Go big or go home. And you made it work. So yeah, good on you. Good on you.
And I was
Mark's interesting doing this because he's such a showman.
Isn't that surprising?
No, he's a showman. And when we talked about it, we had the space open up, and I talked about it with him, and he said, I can't do it. We've got this hellebore rollout coming on. And I thought, okay.
I love that that's like a thing. We've got a hellebore.
Well, and the reasons for not doing it didn't make sense at the time, but I figured, you know what? Fine, it's all hands on deck for this thing. I get that. And then we talked more about it maybe a month later. And I said, well, just dropping a line, seeing if anything's changed. No, I don't really think so. I'm kind of stuck on it. He says, I don't see how it can work. This is after our Summit Far West show in August. And he goes, then my phone tweets back, oh, you know what? We should talk about that. How can we make it work if I'm not a designer?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's easy to do if you're not a designer. Well, I'll design it for you. What do you want to do? Well, here's what I'm thinking. So, okay, well, we could do that part, Mark. Well, can you find somebody to help me build it? Yes. It's low-hanging fruit so far.
Yeah.
Because I'll fill it. I need somebody to help with the hardscape. Okay, done. Oh, let me get back to you. He gets back to me. Okay, I can do 15 by 15. Okay. I've worked with Mark for a few years now. That 15 by 15 became a 15 by 20.
Yeah.
There's no way you can only do a 15 by 15. And then he, even 3 weeks before the show, he sends me a few texts. I'm thinking of adding this. I want some tropicals I want to add. I want to add this. I said, Mark, you only asked for 15 by 20, 15 by 15. I gave you a 15 by 20 because I knew that wouldn't work. But at this point, if you wanted a 20 by 25, you should have asked for one.
Yeah, that ship has sailed, my friend.
Anyway, he's been delightful to work with, and you've heard the story by now, right?
No, tell me.
Oh, I worked with this delightful woman at last year's show, and you've seen me work on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
You're busy with your own thing.
Oh, yeah.
You're busy with your own thing, and I get that. But I work.
But there's I see the peripheral.
Yes, but I work like this. Hey, I need to do this over here, and you'll see me in a few hours. I'm going to go over here. Call me if you need me. Brian can get me on the radio.
Yep.
See you, bye.
Yep.
Okay. So I got Hannah, to do some planters for me.
She's very sweet.
And I had a planter over here. I have every 2 planters. And I said, I need these planters done. And when you're done with these planters, maybe if you can look at the others, feel free. And I'm not sure what I'm doing with them yet, but here's the idea. And I got to do. So I'm going to go do it and buy. And at first she was like, oh, shit. What am I working with here? I said, oh, wait, just pull it from anywhere. And she did. Because I had a palette.
You had your goodies,
and I said, I don't care what I'm not going to second guess your thing. She put it together. She potted all the pots. She potted all the other pots. So I come back by just to see how she's doing. She's like, I'm all done with this. What do you want me to do next? I thought, you're the woman for me. So over the year, I had the opportunity to find somebody to work with Mark. And it was like, I need somebody to help you do the planting and stuff. Claire could come with a friend. I put them together. They hadn't met before Saturday of move-in. They meshed like that, which almost never happens. I caught lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, you 100% did, because when I rolled in here at 11,
yep.
I was already seeing that garden come together and very intrigued.
Yep.
And I honestly thought that they had worked together for years.
Hadn't even met each other before Saturday.
Seriously.
Hadn't even met each other. And I introduced them, and off to the races they went. Now, Mark loves his product.
Yeah.
And he's enthused about this. And he's enthused about this, which for us is very big because you cannot teach this.
No.
So when you get somebody who gets it, and Mark gets it, it's infectious. So, of course, Claire starts eating this up, and Claire has owned that. to the point where you saw Claire was at the dinner. He said, Mark's like, give her my other dinner seat. This is crazy.
It's crazy.
This is very gracious.
Absolutely.
Because not everybody could take their ego out of the solution to do that.
I feel like he.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Isn't that so? This is funny. I was literally having this conversation about how.
Are we doing this?
We are doing this. I'm just recording.
Good. Are we recording now?
Yes.
Oh, I had no idea. Anyway, go ahead.
No, that's perfect. I was talking with a couple girlfriends of mine, and they said, well, how's the show going? Do you think you're going to get a lot of business? Blah, blah, blah. And my response was, I'm not concerned about the business. I'm not concerned about having more clients to do gardens for. What has been the real joy and the real unquantifiable special little nugget of this entire thing has been the connections.
Relationships.
The really, it 100%. And I think what was interesting for me is Mark was just open arms. Let me tell you what I do. Come on down to Oregon. Do you know where our nursery is?
And he means it.
And he means
it.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know he means it.
Yeah.
Isn't that, I just was blown away by
you
that.
don't find people like that.
No.
And he did a design last year. I lose track. Must have been 2020. A design with our friends at Seattle Solstice. They do
yeah.
Stone sculpting.
Yes, they do.
And other things. They couldn't be involved this year. They were on the Duwamish, and when the Duwamish flooded, it flooded their works.
That's so hard.
Horrible.
That's
horrible,
so hard.
Horrible. So anyways, Mark was coming up, and he goes, I'm coming up a little, see if they can do something with me. He said, I got bottles of wine for him. Mm-hmm. Because Little Prince does a specialty label.
Oh, do they?
So he came up and he said, I saw Sturt, gave him a bottle of wine and just chatted with him for a little bit, but they can't do anything because the place got hit by the Duwamish.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just, he's a real genuine fella.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been very gracious with me. Going in, building the thing, they were a little bit needy at points. Mm-hmm. But again, he doesn't do construction.
Yeah.
I married with a guy who does. Devonshire Landscapes did their construction.
They're wonderful.
Yeah,
yes. Yeah.
They only work in West Seattle, so I wasn't concerned about signage because Will doesn't care about signage because he'll only work in West Seattle. So it's like, then you don't care about signage.
You know what? I love that though. He knows his people. He knows his arena.
Yep.
And it's so funny. I feel like that about certain parts of Seattle. I know when I put my shovel into the ground what I'm going to find.
Sure.
Because that's kind of the tricky thing.
Sometimes.
Now, do you have a history of working in landscaping?
Me?
Yes, you.
I went to a vocational. I was very fortunate. I went to a high school that had a vocational horticulture program.
Interesting.
There aren't many of those.
No, there are not.
So I did that program, and that was at Mariner High School in Everett. And I did a 4-year program in 2 years. And that was my education in landscape and nursery. I went to college, community college, for 6 months. Realized even in this industry, it's hard to get paid. It's challenging to get paid. So I did my work there for 6 months in Edmonds Community College. It wasn't working for me, and so I went to work at a retail nursery. When people ask me what I do, I'm a retailer. That's what I do. I'm a retailer.
Do you still consider yourself a retailer?
I am still a retailer.
Interesting.
Everything I do is retailing. Selling you to do this is retailing. Selling Tony over there at Redwood, that's retailing. Getting the sale, closing the sale. Whether I'm selling cars or space or whatever, I'm good at it. I'm good at this.
You're going to do it. You're going to
the way I do it,
close it.
Because it's relationship based.
Yeah.
So if it's just transactional, no, I'm horrible at that.
No, there's no soul in it.
No,
yeah.
And I don't care about it. So, so I don't do that. So that's my background. Then I started doing more in nursery. This show itself is
Oh,
34
34.
years. I think we had our 34th year this year.
So was your first show 1989 or was it 1990?
Yeah, 1990.
And did you showcase in 1990 or did you actually work for the show in 90?
No, I worked for somebody else who did a display.
Okay.
So in your boat, in your shoes.
Oh my gosh.
And it was way back in the days. And the show itself is pre-internet and post-internet. We were pre-internet, which means it was busier than it is now.
Interesting.
We were back in the 80 to 90,000 people coming through these doors. We were in the one-way traffic down the lanes because that's the only way you can move people through the marketplace.
And so for a point of reference,
Yep.
old numbers 80 to 90,000. New numbers were
50
at
to 60.
50 to 60. Okay, so I mean, still not, to be clear, still not shabby.
Oh, God, no. Oh,
What do
no,
you-
they're
what do
good
you-
numbers. Yeah.
What do you think has impacted that? Do you think there is an internet correlation?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Really?
You can draw a line.
Seriously?
You can draw a line. Yep.
So that line occurred, what, late 90s, early 2000s?
2002 to 6. And then the recession we had in 2008 and 9 came.
Oh my gosh. How
Yes.
was that?
Wonk.
Really?
And, well, what happened then was we had the green years.
Okay.
There's a reason we have a fortune color program. The green years. Picture these gardens with no color, with no tulips, no daffodils.
Oh, so that's why they're called the green years.
Yeah, I call them the green years.
Okay.
Because there was no color in the gardens. There was no tulips. There was no jet fire. There was no. They were green because it was cheap. I could get as much greenery as I want. Your nurseries use. They're green. I can borrow them or buy them. They take up a lot of space for the dollar.
Yes.
Color can cost.
It really can.
Yeah, it can cost.
It totally
Yep,
can
yep, yep.
cost.
Oddly enough, color per square foot on the color program, if you buy right, costs less than shrubs do.
I believe it.
Yeah, this shrub here, Pyrus, I'm speculating this cost $25 to fill that same space. with
$27.50.
There
Well
you go,
done.
right?
Well done, sir.
Right? To
Bravo.
fill the same space with bulbs. 6-inch tulip. 6-inch tulips. To fill that with 6-inch tulips, $20.
Yeah.
Okay, daffodils less. Okay, so there's the challenge is people think color costs more. So we
There's that perceived elegance,
Yep.
perceived drama.
Yes, and so O'Loughlin's, after they bought the show from Dwayne, and I don't remember the years, to boost the color, gave a color allowance, which is the one we have
What
this
we
year.
have today.
We have it today.
Okay.
We'll probably be skewing that next year.
Okay.
The bookkeeping doesn't work, so we have to do that differently. Right now, it all comes across my desk, and it just flat out doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That being said,
Makes sense.
so we're going to do the color program, and
Okay.
we did the color program, and it worked. It was the number one thing everybody asks for. Every survey we do for this show, more color. I'm convinced.
really?
I'm convinced the show could be nuclear.
It could be a sea of tulips and daffodils, and
they
people
would
would be like, more
"Oh
please.
my goodness! I finally like the show. It has color."
What are some other things that you hear from people that are like, I feel like this is missing, or this is the most enticing piece?
You're going to find people want so many different things, which is why the show works.
Because we're all giving different things.
You're all giving different things.
Yeah.
This garden, somebody really loves that. This garden. Other people, it leaves cold.
That is so true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even the judging, the People's Choice Award, I speculate that this People's Choice Award will not be the judge's choice for the Founders Cup Best in Show. I don't believe West Seattle Nursery will win the People's Choice.
Really?
No, I don't think so.
That garden is so fabulous.
Yes, because you're a gardener.
Fact.
I went to the Philadelphia Garden Show in 2016, 17, 18, somewhere in there. Of course, we had all the sunshine blowing up our rear end about what a wonderful show this was. It's the end-all, be-all show. So we go to this show. Okay. Was I underwhelmed? Yes.
Oh, really? Are we allowed to put this?
We have this. We have this wonderful asset here that is underappreciated.
Oh,
This asset,
this
show,
community asset,
is underappreciated. It's the second largest show in North America. It is the largest,
Really?
yes, garden show in North America.
Mm.
It is the biggest garden show that is privately held in North America. Philly is a nonprofit.
Oh.
Okay, so it's not even apples to oranges.
Yeah,
you can donate to the Philadelphia show on your 501c3 and get a huge tax credit. You can't do that here.
So what's the largest show?
Philadelphia.
Profit. So that's
in North America.
In North America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for profit, it's
This
the
is
show.
us. Okay.
So yeah, and that's based on attendance, basically.
Yeah.
But they can't use stone in Philly, so we go over there with the guys from Marinakos.
And they don't have the drama.
There's no stone. Well, I thought that.
Oh.
So I'm looking at this thing, and they all.
I'm a rock girl.
And no offense to fancy plants' garden over here, but they all look like fancy plants.
Where's my beautiful basalt?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Certainly nothing like Nature Perfect.
That's crazy over there.
So there is that. Now the style of landscaping is different, and I get that.
Yeah.
But while in Philadelphia, I spoke with people, and I spoke with several different folks just that were attendees. Tell me why you came to the show. Tell me about your experience. I'm from Seattle. Why are you here? And my best experience, my best response, I had these 4 ladies from New York. And they took the train. It's about a 1.5 hour, 2 hour train ride from New York to Philadelphia. And I said, why are you here today? Well, we love to see the show. We want to see all the stuff. It's so great. Oh, so you're avid gardeners. And she got this horrified look on her face. And I mean horrified look. Oh, God, no. We don't garden. And I said, and I got, really? She goes, oh, no. We came here to see the neat stuff. We don't garden. I want to come here to see that. I don't garden at home.
Interesting.
Entertainment. It's for them. It was they came to be entertained, and that is the change in the show. The future of the show is entertainment.
So you think the future of this show will be entertainment?
Yes, I'm convinced of it.
Oh, how does that make you feel, though? Like, is that exciting? Is it disappointing?
You're doing it now.
Oh.
Aren't you? Look at the theater you have going on here. Look at the theater you have going on here. Look at all this. Nobody's going to put this in their landscape. Nobody's going to put a bunch of plates on the front of that in their landscape. Maybe you will.
Yes. I'm going to drop this right down in my yard.
Right.
Yes.
But it's
mirror and all.
It's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's entertainment. Right?
It's inspiration.
Yes, it is. But how many people have come? How many young families have you come through rolling cart that might be just here for the afternoon or the day?
Interesting.
How many older folks have you come going through that are like, well, and how do you talk to that said, I can't do that because, well, I'm in a condo now, right? Entertainment. They're here. Now, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of people looking for ideas for their homes and such as well. We need that to make things survive. But there's a percentage, the percentage in the future of any show like this show, which is not a home show, for a garden show like this, the future really is, instead of the guy and the gal going to the movies for that evening, is to come and be seeing the show.
I think that even if the future is entertainment, don't you think that's such a beautiful piece of entertainment to be drawn to?
Yes.
I think it's probably really good for everyone's blood pressure.
No argument.
Yeah.
Because it's peaceful here, especially when there's no marketplace going on.
Yeah.
It calms
the
you.
The whole energy of this building right now is just, woof.
Yeah, it is.
It's it's just lovely right now.
Oh, you should see it in here when the lights are all off.
Oh, I watered with the lights off.
There you go. Oh my goodness, because we did that to you, right? Yeah, yes, that's funny.
Yes, photographing, and I was out there with my iPhone, and I can't prune anything back.
When they've got the night lighting on, it is really kind of neat. Yeah, I do like it. But no, I shouldn't say it's only entertainment, but there's not enough gardeners to do it. Yeah.
So, like, one of the things that I feel really called to do is I really feel called to pull people back into this world that I live in. And I want to inspire people to get their hands dirty. I want you to make the mistake. I want you to try something, figure out it doesn't work, or try something and be successful.
Sure.
Either way, you have your fingers in the soil, and I feel like I've done, like, it's like the Jewish act of a mitzvah, like a good deed for Mother Nature.
And that's a bit of your model. Yes, you're a garden coach as well as landscape design.
Well, I started out in garden coaching.
Yep.
And then people just wanted more. And soon I was like just a bona fide designer and missing that connection piece. And so this is my move to get back to that.
Do you find that your client who hires you as garden coach or hired you as garden coach, and it's sounding that way to me, didn't really want to do the work? I mean, it's just like
that is so interesting.
I get the the garden coach thing, and Christina Solovitz is the same way, where it's like, I see you're kind of a garden coach, but then I see you're doing an awful lot of installs. That's not coaching. That's running the team. Do you find that as you start coaching, they're like, oh golly, I'm not going to do that. Can you do that for me or find somebody?
That's how my business blew up.
There you go. Yep.
What's interesting though is I then started creating pockets in my garden that maybe other people don't do, but when I design a garden, I specifically ask for skill level for the people I design for. And I design them what I refer to as a tinker space. Because a lot of people want to be in the garden, but it's so overwhelming.
They're afraid of it.
They are afraid, absolutely. And the whole ethos of what I want to do is I just want to encourage people to do this. And so I kind of assess my client, and sometimes your tinker space is a 2-foot by 5-foot strip. That is what I know you can do, and when you're ready for more, you do more and feel ready to do that. But that became my answer to people wanting to do it, being afraid to do it. So it's like I gave him some training wheels and a beautiful setting to do it in.
I had a lady come to the show, and she had just bought a property in Seattle, and it was a beautiful garden property, and she was completely overwhelmed. Yes. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I said, well, when you come home from work, what do you do? Well, I kind of get ready for dinner and wait for my husband to get home and do A, B, and C. And again, I think I was watching somebody else's garden at the time, because I can't figure out how we had this conversation other than doing this. Anyway, so how long are you at home before the husband gets home and before you're doing dinner? I said, what do you do? Well, I pour myself a glass of wine and watch the news. Great.
Okay.
So instead of watching the news, especially in spring or summer, just go out for that 20 minutes that you're watching the news and go out and work in the garden. Pull weeds, prune, pick up leaves, whatever it is. Only 20 minutes. Only the 20 minutes you would have spent watching the news. See how far you get. So, okay, if you got 1 foot, you get 1 foot. If you got 20 feet, you get 20 feet. But only do 20 minutes. Do that for a week and see how you feel. See how you feel. I'm not sure if I can commit to that for a week. Okay, then do it for half the week. Do it for the days you can do it, but be consistent. And I'll bet that when you're, again, it's a city, Seattle lot. It's not like
so it's not palatial. Yeah.
I don't know the property, but again, it's a city lot. So
yeah, good chances is between like 4-7 at most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, start doing that. See how you do. Here's my card. You're welcome to call or email me. But just to see how you're doing. But try that before you bulldoze everything and just put lawn in. Because that's not going to save you any time. Okay, well, I'm a little scared, but I'll try it. Well, you know what? It's okay to be scared. I might kill a plant, she said. Oh. So it sounds like you got plenty. You can't kill any plants in your garden. You can't? Are you going to spray anything? Well, no. then you can't kill anything in your garden. You will not kill anything in your garden if you don't spray it. Really? Nope. If it's already alive, you can't kill it, except by spraying it. Okay, so she tried it, I guess. She went away happy, if nothing else.
Did you ever hear from her?
I did not. I kind of wish I did, because I wonder if she followed through with it. And the only reason I really wonder is if the spousal unit gave her negative feedback. Well, why the hell are you doing that? No, I just want to do this or whatever.
Yeah.
Then that draws that all back.
Yeah.
She wanted to keep the garden and keep it going. And she said it was her deal, so it's like, well, then make it your deal.
Then make it your deal. Dive in.
Yeah, make it your deal. And so she says, why are you wasting time with that? I say, well, I don't feel I'm wasting time, and it's my time. You're not even home from work yet. What do you care? So yeah, dinner will still be there.
What's your favorite day of the garden show? Like if you could pick a day, be it like set up, tear down, the middle, do you have a moment where you're like, I'm hitting my stride, or like this is my happy spot?
If everything's running right, which is a big if, if everything's running right, the best day is probably Monday.
Really?
Well, you know what? Half of Monday, half of Sunday. So I'm going to go half days.
Half days.
Half days, because half the days are always good. Half the day, each day, half the day is going to be good. Some days, half the day is just not going to be good. It's going to be a hangover. It's going to be, this last Monday, half the day was good. The other half was reacting to stuff. It's very hard to be reacting to stuff. That's what makes the job difficult, is when you're reacting to people needing something, wanting something, something's not right, you have to pivot and react to something out of your control. That's hard.
Yeah.
So reacting is hard. And half the days on Monday, Tuesday's all reactive, is going to be reactive. Tuesday is probably my least favorite day. You'd think it would be my favorite.
Well, Tuesday was my least favorite day.
Right?
Did you freak out? Did you think I was going to finish?
Oh, of course I thought you were going to finish.
Okay.
Everybody finishes, except for Michael last year, because he was so far in the weeds. But no, you weren't that far from not being finished. You were fussing with things that you didn't need to fuss with because you didn't have the experience factor yet. Doing it now, you'd go, I don't have to fuss with that. I don't have. Nobody's going to see that. I don't have to do that absolutely perfect. I don't have to fuss with what's on this cart because nobody can see it from down there. The biggest challenge we get, year in, year out, and everybody here is guilty of it, is they don't step out of the garden and direct from where people are going to see it.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's the number one thing. Because if you don't step in this garden to do stuff, and you only stay there where people are going to do things, a third of this isn't here because you don't need it, because nobody's going to see it. And you'd be amazed at the tricks you can play when nobody's going to see it. It makes it so easy. I mean, really. Yeah. But the trick is you've got to have the fortitude to stay out of the landscape, to stay out of the garden. Yeah. When I'm coaching somebody doing this, and they say, "Can you look at something with me? I'm worried. And they're there, and I'm worried about this. Do you see it out there? Well, it's right here. No. Go out there.
Go out there and take a look. Yeah, this is like, I have an empty spot in the middle of my pot. No one's going to see it. So I'm just going to tuck this little ranunculus on the side and cross my fingers. Yep. Because she's going to be cute and orange out here.
Yeah, and nobody can see it.
Yeah.
Nobody can see that. Nobody can see that, I'm going to say a candy tuft. Can people see? Yeah, it'll might force a few more blooms before the end of the week.
Baby.
Yeah. But again, think about what your sight lines, and it's because of what you do, it's human nature to get into the landscape and work it.
Yeah.
But people don't see how many lemons are in that bowl. People don't see.
There are 9, Lloyd. There are 9 lemons in that bowl.
Too many. Yeah. So stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
This one, because you're so compact, it's easier
Yeah,
to
and you
edit.
and
Yep.
there's such sight
Yep.
lines
Yep.
all the way
Yep.
around.
Yep.
Okay, so were you with the judges when they went through the garden?
No, I do not do the judging.
Mm,
That is Janet's department. She does it very well.
she's so good.
Yeah,
She's
I
so
do
good.
not always agree with the judges. I didn't agree with them on some things this year.
Oh, really?
Oh gosh, no. But again, I've done this for a long time. Some of them take themselves too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be unfair to this crew, they were very
They were
professional and they were
delightful.
consistent in most cases. There's one garden where I'm still wondering what happened there. And
Mm,
even their justification for the medal it got, that's the wrong choice of words, but it's the one I'm going to stick with, was like, I they're guests, but you want to say, listen to yourself.
mm,
Because we have a garden on the floor that got a gold medal, and it was like, I don't get it. I
interesting.
just don't get it.
Was that gardener me?
No. No, you earned your gold medal. You did a wonderful job. You should be
Thank
very
you.
proud of what you did here.
Thank you.
But anyway, it was like um, a mountain setting with flowers in the mountains, which is great, a great interpretation. But what is all this sod doing here?
Yes.
Because sod doesn't grow
Grow
with,
in the mountains.
and it doesn't grow with orchids. Let's just say what
Hmm.
it is. It doesn't grow with orchids. So how on earth could you give this a gold
It's
medal?
not
Well,
horticulturally relevant.
we looked past that. Well,
Oh.
why didn't you look past it everywhere else? Because here I'm hearing this has
Mm,
this wrong, this has this wrong, but this you're looking past that. That's a basic thing.
yeah.
And that was the one that just has my jaw still dropping because it's like,
Yeah.
what happened there? You so charmed by the orchids that you avoided everything else. Now Ross was honest and said yes.
Mm,
You know, the orchids were so great. I kind of gave him a pass on
they
everything
were
else.
they were fabulous. But
But how do you, being the politician I am, because this job requires
there's a lot of
politics.
politics.
I've got somebody who didn't do as well as they think they should have,
Uh-huh.
and points to the garden with grass growing in the orchids and say, well, what the hell happened there? And what do I say? Well, they must have had a brain freeze because I can't, even with what they told me, I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Mark Lichty got a silver medal for his garden there.
Yes.
It's a wonderful space.
Beautiful
It's
space.
all
Really great use of
it's all
texture.
hellebores and textures and
Yeah,
everything.
great
Well, we
texture.
don't understand it. It's all they should have used more than just hellebores.
They
Okay.
did.
They did.
They were
Yep.
beautiful
I
begonias.
I get that.
Okay,
I
all right.
agree. I agree with you.
I stand firm.
I agree with you. And then they give this a gold with the God blessed turf with the orchids, but they're chirping that this needs something more than hellebores in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so maybe they should have put a swath of turf through the middle because this only has orchids and turf. So maybe that could have been hellebore and turf. Well, then it's a bronze. So it's like, see the
Yeah,
challenge?
I do. I do.
So sometimes the judging gets wonky, and then you take a deep breath and you go, nobody will remember that next year.
No.
And or at least you hope so. Now we have had gardeners who won't do the show because they've gotten in their sense screwed by the judging in the past.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
I mean, I can see it. We've got some delicate egos in this world.
and
That's okay.
there's three reasons to do this show.
Yep.
There's ego, there's business, and there's fun. Those are the three reasons you do the show. Ego, business, fun. And the hardest one is ego. I'm going to get a gold medal this year. I'm gearing my garden to get a gold medal. By golly, there's no way I won't get a gold medal. And then you get a judging crew for what, and it could be any judging crew for any
Yes,
reason.
yes.
You may have put this happened to me. We had a fall garden. It was called Crush. And it was because we had a grape crusher, an apple crusher.
Ooh, cool.
And we had
Okay.
apples tied to the trees because, of course, there wouldn't be apples
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
trees. Anyways, a charming spot, big garden in the middle floor, silver medal garden. Now, the scoring was different then.
Okay.
Admittedly, scoring was different then. Now it would have been a gold medal garden. The scoring we have now would have been gold medal. One of the judges didn't like orange.
Oh, okay.
Well, who cares if you like orange or not?
Is it a good use of the color?
It was a good use of the color. It's a fall garden, dummy. Pumpkins are orange.
Did they actually have pumpkins?
We actually got a stone one that Marinakos made
Oh,
for us right on the end. And we
really?
actually coaxed some vines around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started a squash under the grow lights.
Yeah,
It's
hard to do.
actually
Yeah, the squash.
shockingly big. The
Anyway,
loudest.
so I've been screwed by judges before.
Yeah.
That garden won the People's Choice Award
Yeah.
because it was like, how do you not win a gold? One of the judges didn't like orange. We threw him under the bus. Oh, absolutely. Oh, that idiot judge from Germany didn't like orange. Yeah.
Flew in from Germany, didn't like orange. So did you so do you have a favorite garden this year?
On this floor.
On this floor.
I do.
You do?
I have
What's
three
your favorite?
do I have a favorite garden?
And
which
really
is different than
no
the best
hurting
garden.
favorite.
Which is the best, which
Okay.
is very different than the best garden.
Favorite. I want to know favorite. What
My
sings your
favorite.
song?
Well, keep in mind, I helped create 2 gardens on this floor, so it's very difficult to divorce myself from that. Quite candidly. So the Hellebore garden, which was a co-creation of Mark and Lloyd,
Yes.
is my favorite garden on the floor. No question. I think it's magical. A lot of the gardens are magical on this floor. Living Room Landscapes garden is a dream, beautifully done. But the garden next to you, Redwood
nice.
Builder's garden, is with the lighting and everything he's done there. May have tried to do too much with the water feature.
Yeah, I really I appreciated the burned logs, the
Yes.
burned.
And if you'd had a few more burned logs instead of the water feature, it's already a gold medal garden. But then you're approaching more of a Founders Cup contender. Although the Founders Cup winner is very, very good. Not much room for improvement. The garden itself isn't. There's something about it that doesn't do it for me.
Just hit it.
It doesn't give me that emotional pull for whatever reason. It's a beautiful garden. We have beautiful gardens this year. There are a few that are flatter.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'd say 70% of them are beautiful gardens.
Yeah.
Which means we have 20 on the floor this year. There's probably 4 that are less than stellar.
Yeah.
Or boring, I was disappointed in the Landscape Association's garden this year. I expected more,
I did.
and that's a matter of, is the garden bad? No, but the expectation was more, and they didn't deliver on the expectation. Now the Yellowstone garden on the end, holy cow! Have you really looked at that garden?
I have.
Oh my goodness! Now it's not for everybody.
No.
But boy, is it fun. And it is a Disney garden, baby. It is why people come to the show.
I will say.
To be entertained.
Yep.
Yep.
And maybe the plantings did not stand out for me at all.
They don't. Yep,
they don't. The plantings don't stand. I mean, just being very candid.
Right. You're a plants woman.
Exactly. I'm a plants woman. And I look at that garden and I'm like, holy cow, structure, story, drama, but I can see the end of the PVC on the water feature, which I don't like, and there's not a lot of plant material.
No.
But that's not the garden for me. But is it a beautiful garden? Yes, it is.
It delivers.
It delivered a story.
It delivers. It flat out delivers.
Yeah.
The garden across the way is 2 gardens.
Really?
Yeah, you look at this garden across the way.
Yeah, there's like the front
has the stage,
yep.
And then there's a fence, and then the back is like, why? And the little building is like, why is that?
Shed.
Why is that shed there?
It's a tough shed.
Which is great. Is the building there because Tough Shed said they'd give you a building, and so you put a Tough Shed in?
Yeah.
Because that's what that is. It's like, but why?
It doesn't feel like a moment.
No. Well, gosh, no. That serves no purpose.
Yeah.
Next. Yeah, no.
So if you could give me some advice for next year.
You don't need any.
I do. I always do.
Well, the only advice I can give you for next year, do what you do.
Yeah.
We have some people who tried to experiment some years. West Seattle Nursery had a water feature under that thing.
I don't even, it's so funny. I saw the basin for the water feature when I was doing one of my walkthroughs, but I can't even tell you right now where I saw the water feature.
Well,
Is it even in there?
After judging, they turned it off.
Oh, really?
Well, it was just a trickle anyway, and they weren't sure. They had a little
Interesting.
puddle of water coming out of some seepage, and they weren't
Okay.
sure whether it was overwatering or the water feature. And the water feature was such an afterthought, they didn't do it. And it's like, why do you keep adding water features to your garden? You people don't do water features. You sell plant material.
Yeah.
Do what you do.
Isn't that interesting? I had the
Yeah,
exact same conversation with
no,
Angel as
do
we're
what you
like
do.
brainstorming for
Yeah.
next year. And he said, I want to show things that I do.
Yes.
And it's so funny because this garden, I was afraid it would be too personal or like too Willy Wonka.
It tells a story.
It tells the story of me.
Well, then there you go. What more can you ask? So
I know.
when you're putting yourself out there, you could be
It's
rejected.
scary.
You
It's
could
very
have
scary.
you could have gotten from a different set of judges a different medal.
I could
You
have
never
gotten
know.
like a bronze, or I thought, God, I'm going to do this thing and they're going to give me like a participation trophy.
You know,
Which I kind of didn't care
you
anyways.
really have to screw it up to do
Yeah,
that. And now that's
yeah.
not fair because the one over here got a bronze medal, and there were some real
there's some real moments there.
there was some real technical challenges, right? And there's
Yeah,
some scale
yeah.
issues that are really big. And this judging crew scale was a thing.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
one of the pieces
yeah.
of feedback is they wanted to see this pergola come down a little bit, which I agree.
Yes.
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
I had been actually shopping for a light fixture up here, and I found some that were just okay. But I was like, why am I going to put something into this that doesn't sing for me? But all these other cool lantern moments do, like this little cutie right here.
Yeah, it is very cute.
Isn't that awesome?
The other
Yeah.
feedback we would say is when people are going for elegance for whatever reason, they jump to black. There could have been other choices.
I wanted mine to simulate
Yep.
fused tube steel.
Okay.
That's what
Challenges
I'm going
in this hall,
for. Yes,
It's dark.
it can get lost.
and it does. Yeah.
And so I did have
Yep.
Carl come in, my cedar, to try to kind of bring it together.
And now it is a break from. Speaking of cedar, it is a break from cedar.
There's a
because
sea
there's
of
a lot
cedar
of
here.
cedar here.
Okay.
But there is that. Is it too tall? Doesn't hurt you. The
No.
birch brings it down. The tall, I'm going to say deodar brings it down.
Yeah, crossroads, yeah.
So yeah, birch brings it down. So it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
This obviously gold medal didn't hurt you.
Yeah.
It encompasses the space nicely.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I would say the biggest advice I could say though is do what you do.
Yeah.
There's no reason to branch out to
Do something crazy.
no, and you're not selling yourself that way anyway.
Yeah.
Neither is Corona Landscape, assuming they're your partners in this, right?
They do.
So,
They're excited.
So he wants to be involved and do more. And as he's saying, well, I'd like to show this. I'd like to show a fire pit. Okay. Well, City of Seattle rules make it so we can't light the God blessed thing, but not really.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can show a fire pit. Now this year we've got 3 or 4 in the show.
Lots of golf courses too.
Yeah, well,
Lots of golf.
yeah, a lot of golf.
Okay,
We did
people
not
love
know.
golf.
One was a late substitution, so
Okay.
I'll give him that.
We'll give him a pass. This has been a really huge treat, and I so appreciate the chance to just
Sure.
connect, because these are long, blessed days that we're doing.
Yeah, and you'll have a good break afterwards.
Yeah, I will.
I hope.
But it's been
yep.
an actual treat. It really has, and it's been a fun way to kind of introduce myself to the community at large.
Which is great. And going forward, don't feel you have to be the point person all the time. Go home, be with your kids, trust your staff. They can. There's nothing here that you need to be here for.
Thank
They
you.
can answer the questions just as well, really. And if
I
they
have a
can't,
beautiful plants woman
yes,
by my side.
and
I do.
and then you've got a construction crew that can answer some elements of that for whatever reason. So
Yeah.
don't wear it on your shoulders saying, "Oh my God, I have to be there 24/7," because you don't. Use your team. Enjoy it if you can.
Enjoy the
I have to be here
experience.
24/7. It's
Yeah.
my job, okay? But you don't have to be. Make it work for you that way.
Yeah.
You've got somebody else to sell your company. You've got a landscape crew that supports you to help on that end.
Yeah.
So use that. That's the biggest thing, is so you don't burn yourself completely
And I can
out.
show up and be my absolute
Yes.
best self and
Yep.
bring this
Yep.
energy that I
Yep.
love forward.
Yep. Best
Lloyd,
advice I can give you. Yep.
cheers.
To you as well. Thank you.
Thank you.